Hello everyone, welcome to Naomi's Bookshelf and welcome to February's round of TBR Clue. So TBR Clue is my TBR game where I pick books based on prompts from a mug and I have to reveal cards by reading them. I explained the whole thing in last month's video, so I will link it for you along with the playlist in case you're interested in finding out all the rules. Now, before we start this month's game, we're going to go over what the rooms revealed and if I have all the information to guess this or not. To be honest, I did not remember what order it was when I wrote them down, so they're probably out of order, but we're going to go into what I read for what prompt. Now, for the prompt of the library, I read Witness for the Prosecution and Other Stories by Agatha Christie. It's a library book, so I borrowed it. For the prompt of the wrench, I read Mr. Parker Pine or Parker Pine Investigates by Agatha Christie. For Colonel Mustard, I read Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, which was a graphic novel. For Mrs. Peacock, I read Mystery of Mysteries, which is Edgar Allan Poe biography. For Mrs. White / Dr. Orchid, I read I'm Not Charlotte Lucas by Casey Stockton. Loved it. For the lounge, I read The Chase by Janet Ivanovich and Lee Goldberg. For the study, I read The Secret Passage, which is a Clue mystery book, short story mystery book. For the lead pipe, I read The Case of the Discontented Soldier by Agatha Christie. And for the revolver, I did read my arc, which was Cleopatra's Daughter, and that is a biography about Cleopatra's daughter. So my official guess is Dr. Orchid in the dining room with the knife. So I'll pull them out. There's the dagger, Dr. Orchid, and the dining room. So no punishment. And now I get my reward wheel. So as you see here, we got the double up ability. So that means I only have to read 8 books to reveal all 9 rooms. I can double up any 2 of those because that's never allowed in normal game rules. So let's go through the cards and we will work out what I need to read for the month. So for the month of February, I don't have much going on. I'm only doing one readathon, which happens to be the readathon I'm actually co-hosting again, which is the Little House readathon. It goes for 4 days. So my 4 days of the 7th to the 11th, I'm going to be extremely busy reading Little House on the Prairie books. But that's my only priority. So I will be able to do whatever I want, essentially. I obviously am doing the buzzword book, which I can't remember what that word is right now, so I have to figure that out. I'm also doing the Golden Girls Challenge, and I will be doing the Book Covered Book Club. Last one. Easy peasy. I'm looking forward to a light month. I don't want it to be as chaotic because I am doing some big reading plans currently. Last one. All right, there we go, ready for next month. Now let's get into the board and all that goes on with that. Apparently I'm out of it. I forgot my TBR author jar pull. Let's see what that is. I already put Tacticus back in. I did not try, and I DNF'd John Steinbeck. So one more author out of this jar. Let's pull 2 and we'll see what we get. Dorothy L. Sayers, so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to her a lot. Next one will be, I don't want that one. I don't know what it is, but I don't want it. Ibsen. I still don't know where that book is. I'm going to pick another one. I'm in the middle of rearranging all of my books and reorganizing the shelves. All right, I can do that one. Gustave Flaubert. I'm going to grab those books. I don't actually have any Dorothy L. Sayers books physically, but I have an audiobook, or a couple at least, on my Audible account. So I'll put a picture up here of the one I will be probably reading. And then for my Gustave Flaubert, Madame Bovary, I tried this one a while ago, and I don't think I was too much into classics at the time, so this will be a good time to go back to it. Yeah, I'm excited to try it out at least and see, because it is a one that's kind of been haunting me for years, being like, well, I should probably finish it. And now I do. So we'll try this one. Now to the board. Please excuse my sprained toe. It's very frustrating, but we're gonna get into the haul. Okay, first one is yuck. 2020 TBR. All right, at least I'm reading an owned book. So the first room for the haul, we got the prompt of a lovely one, which is 2020 TBR. It's a book that I purchased in 2020. And funnily enough, Tacticus was on there, but I'm gonna hold off on that. I might go there, I doubt it. I am gonna try one that my uncle told me might not be for me, which is The Killing Floor. My uncle and I have a lot of interesting conversations about like spy books and espionage books, and he introduced me to one of my favorite series, which is the Fox and O'Hare series, at least the first 5. And so I am really interested to read this one because he was reading it and he said, yeah, it's just like, I am a person who does not like a lot of swearing in my books. It's just something I don't like reading a lot of. And the way I kind of feel is if you can only use 4-letter words, then maybe your vocabulary isn't as great as you thought it was. Because if you, like, you should be able to express yourself in other words. Sorry, like, not that those, I don't know, I'm not gonna dig myself into a big hole. Anyways, I've heard that this book has a lot of F words and all these things, and I'm like, probably not the book for me. So I'm gonna try it and see, and I have other books that I can pull from too from that list, but I'd like to get this one off my list now since, you know, it is part of that year. Next one is Worse Luck, a book I've owned for at least 5 years. For the lounge, we got another doozy, which is pre-2018. So a book that I've owned since 2017. Now, funnily enough, Gustave Flaubert is on that list. Now, technically, I don't own this edition from that year, but I owned an edition. It was in my jar, and then I got rid of that book and repurchased it. So I'm going with it. Yeah, I did try reading this one with my cousin a while ago, years ago, and it was just not the right book for us, I guess, at that moment. I'm gonna try it again. I don't like cheating, but I've also read a few more French classics, so I kind of understand the culture a bit better, but I might DNF it and move on. But that's the point of my TBR author jar. So yeah, we'll see. And if not, I'll pick something else, obviously. Here's this one. Oh, middle grade. For middle grade, there it is, middle grade, I'm gonna be picking up a Little House on the Prairie book. So this is the first book, which is Little House in the Big Woods. I am planning, if you wanna go and check out my TBR video and my announcement video, you can check it out too. But I am planning on reading the entire series, or as much as possible, in 4 days. Probably 5, I'm probably gonna start on Sunday, to be honest. But yeah, this is gonna be one of my middle grade books, since I'm reading it anyways, it already works. And this is just about Laura, and it's a historical fiction based on her life. She wrote it. It's about her and her family and different events that they have lived through. And some of them are very fictionalized and some of them are very real. So yeah, I'm gonna be picking up this one and as much of the series as possible for those. The 7th to the 11th. Sorry, the 7th to the 11th, I'll be picking up as many of these books as possible. For the kitchen, should I take it? I guess I will. Romance. For the prompt of romance, I am going to be reading one that I purchased a while ago and I've been wanting to read, and I've been like, I just need to find a good time to put it in. And I'm not waiting anymore. It's Tacos for Two by Betsy St. Amant. This one is about 2 taco trucks, or a food truck, where they're at a festival and it's like, who's gonna win? So it's kind of a competition between the 2 of them, but they're gonna fall in love, obviously. It's a romance. This is a Christian romance, and I am so excited. I've been waiting for the kitchen to come up or something, and I'm not gonna wait anymore. We're just gonna go with it, and I'm very excited. This one for the the conservatory. For the conservatory, I'm gonna go with one that has some vegetables on the front, and that's A Faux Love Story by Lone Lee. This one is a YA food romance. I don't know anything else. I did purchase it off of Book Outlet, and I should probably get to it. So yeah, this one, I don't know. It's about, I believe they're Vietnamese, but I could be wrong on that. The last name seems Vietnamese to me. But anyways, yeah, I'm interested to see how this one goes, and I am hoping that at the very least I'll find a good YA romance, because I don't tend to love them, but at the same time, if I don't, at least I know a book that's just not my style, and I'm excited to figure that out. For the conservatory, we'll pull this one. Dr. Orchid or Mrs. White For Dr. Orchid and Mrs. White, I'm going to be going with my Agatha Christie book. So the prompt for this year for the Read Christie 2023 projects, I guess, or whatever challenge, are methods and motives. So the next one for February will be the method of a blunt object. Now, thankfully, I had a book that I could easily access that showed all the methods of murder. And one of them being, this one has a blunt object, being the murder weapon. So I'm going to go with it. This one is 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. This one is about Hercule Poirot, who visits his dentist, I believe, and has his tooth repaired, and then, or maybe he can't, and he has to like come back, and the dentist is dead. So it's a doctor of some kind. I'm going with it. Yeah, this one is one of my few Hercule Poirots I have left, and I'm excited. This will also count for my Buzzwordathon book, as buckle is a verb. So we're gonna go with that, especially when you buckle my shoe. It's not a buckle in the noun. I'm not gonna explain it. You know English, it's a movement right there. We're moving on. The library, we've got a standalone. For a standalone, this paper's really flimsy, but for a standalone, I'm going with a book that I've also owned for a little while, and it's in my pile of things I need to put away, and I want to read them before I put them away sometimes, because then I know if I need to actually keep it or not. But I'm planning on reading One Thing I Know, which is by Kara Isaac. I read a book by her about an American going to Australia, which was so great. I loved it. And this one is a Christian romance about a relationship coach. I don't know anything. Okay, so it says she's a relationship coach and he's a late night radio star, essentially. And so it's going to be an interesting time, I'm sure. And I'm excited to just pick it up and read it, since I did love Kara Isaac's previous work that I've read. Oh, sorry, that was the billiards room. For the library this time, this one is Christian fiction. For Christian fiction, I could double this one up easily with using my double up power. But for that, I have so many books I want to read that are Christian fiction this month. I'm in the mood, so I'm going to keep with it. But I am picking up a sequel, so this would be nice to get a duology done and like review this book, because it's not very well known. But it is called Shine the Light by April McGowan. The first book I read in this was about a woman who was going blind, and it displays how chronic disability or chronic illness can really impact your life. This one is about her friend who I believe struggles with PTSD and was very prominent in the first book. So I don't know anything else. I don't really want to. I'm just really excited to try this one out and read another one that is so good at showing physical disabilities and mental health, and all those things are really good to see in books, and I'm really happy to pick it up. And for the study, this one. Nice. Short read. The last one is a short read. Now for that one, I am doubling up, but I don't need to, I guess. There's other books I could read that are short, but the one I'm picking is Little House in the Big Woods. That's short. This one is, it's 240 pages, but they have illustrations all through it, and it's a middle grade. It's a really quick read, so I'm going to call that a short read. And yeah, I've never set a number of pages on that, but we're going to go with this one, and we'll probably pick some other short reads up. Because if you've caught on with my Goodreads, you'll have seen what I'm doing. And if you haven't figured it out yet, you'll find out soon. So yes, this will be my short read. I do have a couple arcs that I am needing to read. One of which is The Maid of Ballymacool. This one is by Jennifer Dabeel, and it is about an orphan who never is leaving but is destined for greater things, I think. Sounds great. And then I also am reading Daughter of Eden. This one is by Jill Eileen Smith, and this one's about Eve in the garden. So this is a biblical fiction, which I've never read a biblical fiction about Eve, so this will be exciting. I also have a couple other arcs that are coming up in March area, so I'm not sure when I'll get to them, but I will get to them before they come out. However, I am currently reading Empress of the Nile, which is about a female archaeologist during World War II era. And that one comes out end of February. So I do need to finish that one, and I will have that one hopefully done in time for my review. It is good, but it's a lot of information, so it's a bit slower to read. The last thing to mention is the book covered book club. Now, looking at the color, it's between blue and violet, which doesn't help. But on her face here, it kind of looks like that. I don't know. And maybe like this guy's cloak here. I don't know if you can see that. This one's kind of a violet-y color. Not violet-y, but like in between those two. I'm trying to figure out how to not stretch it too much. Let me know if you think that those would work. And if not, give me a recommendation, please, for a periwinkle cover book. Like a book that has any little bit of periwinkle. I would love to take your suggestions because I need help with that. It's a hard color to hunt down. But I would love your suggestions. So please leave me them down below in the comments if you have an idea that this will work or that one will work, or if you have another recommendation you think I will enjoy. I would love to know. I guess that's all I have for this video today. Please like this video and subscribe if you are new here and hit that notification bell if you would like. And yeah, happy reading.